What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. All right, so today I want to introduce you guys to my Templar PvP build called Duplicity. Now, this build I've been streaming for the last, during the event. I need to upgrade one piece, but other than that, it's finalized. And I really enjoy this as a Magplar. Why? Because it gives me the capability to play both roles. Whether I decide to heal or I decide to deal damage, this build is where it's at. And trust me, being dedicated healer in Battlegrounds sometimes can be a pain in the butt. So why not have an offensive perspective to your gameplay? So let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? Okay, primary bar, we have 38,000 max magicka. Magic recovery before pot is 1597. When we drink the pot, and that was my last one, we're over 2. Okay, so pretty good there. Health, 27,000. Health recovery, 9.6. Stamina recovery, 691. Max stamina, 12.7. This is a 3-3-1 configuration. So a 3 heavy, 3 light, 1 medium. Why? Because we're going to get that Undaunted passive. Spell crit, 32. Spell damage before proc, 38. Weapon damage, 32. Before our circle, spell resistance is 21 and physical resistance 17. Everything's been allocated into max magicka. We are using Clockwork Citrus Fillet. This is my recommendation for this build. Why? Because it gives you max health, it gives you a little bit of the health recovery, gives you max magicka and magicka recovery. We're going to be using the Lover Mundus for our offensive capability. And on our resto staff, it's pretty much the same. So, yeah, we like it. So, let's go ahead and get into the gear. We're going to be using Soulshine. So we're going to be using a great sword as our primary weapon versus a staff. The reason being, it just scales well with all the abilities. I prefer weaving, but when it comes to the passives, we get an extra weapon and spell damage. And then we're getting a stamina recovery. I still need to unlock this. So this is really cool. It's just after killing a target, we're going to get a boost to the stamina recovery. Alright, so, and then light attacks are going to do extra AoE damage. So, really, really good. But, so that's why we went with the sword. So we have a great sword, sharpen, right, with increased damage glyph. What does Soulshine do? Now, I did Soulshine for its heavy armor properties. So it's a DPS set that's heavy armor. So it gives us max magicka. It gives us spell crit. That's important with this build, and I'll explain why in a minute. We get spell damage, and activating ability with a cast or channel time grants us 356 spell damage for 5 seconds. Now, there are sets that will give you more, but keep in mind what Soulshine does. We get 2 heavy pieces. That increases our defensive capability. That's why we went with Soulshine with this build. Always interesting. Alright, so we went with also the Maelstrom Perfected Restoration Staff, Precise, with a reduction glyph. So I like reduction because, once you hit them and you weave them, they deal less damage, right? Especially if they're trying to scale. Also, doesn't need to be perfected, but it does come with crit if you can get the perfected. Now, this is important because we're going to be using the Morph to Regeneration, and when it critically strikes, you restore 558 magicka. This effect cannot occur from simultaneous critical strikes. But, yeah, this helps us sustain in a lot of battles, especially when we're healing. So I really like that. And, of course, when we back bar, you're going to see that we get that critical rating from the Soulshine. So that's why it's important, because our spell critical on this bar is 41%. So we do want to critically heal with that. Okay? Very important. So we can sustain. Okay, monster set we're going to be using is Zon. We do want 3 heavy. Why do we want 3 heavy? It's very simple. We're going to get that passive into the heavy armor. That's going to give us... it's going to increase our health recovery. We're going to get physical and spell resistance. A lot more for each piece. So we definitely want to take advantage of that. Also, we're going to get more max health. And we're going to restore 12% on our heavy attacks on our weave by 12%. So yeah, and of course we're getting 3% towards healing received. Really good. So, but yeah, Zon, one other thing Zon gives us, spell critical. Now, when the problem with Templar is when you're using your spam, you don't get to cancel out towards utilizing a lot of other abilities. So this is where Zon comes in, because when I go in and I do a light attack or a heavy, most likely I do lights when I jump, I have a 33% chance to create a beam of fire that will connect to your enemy as long as you remain within 8 meters of them. The beam deals 872 damage before proc. So now keep in mind I have he killed all my crabs. But anyways, I also have major sorcery here with the degen. But for example, we're going to come in here. We're going to go back in. That was without. Now it's up to 1,129. After we get this, we can get quite a bit of damage from it. So, yeah, really nice. This is reinforced with max health. Curse of Soulshine, health, reinforced. Zon, Nirnholm. Impen is dead. I'm not wearing any Impen. Don't wear Impen. It's garbage. You're better off with Nirnholm on the light pieces, reinforced on the heavy. So this is Nirnholm, max health, medium shoulders. Why do we want the medium? Very simple, because in the Undaunted passive, we're going to get what? 6% towards our max magicka, health, and stamina. Okay. Very important. We have Crafty Alfiq as our secondary set. Why? Max magicka. All max magicka. That helps us with our healing and helps us with our finisher. Really like this. It really stacks the damage. Nice. So this is Divine Max Magicka. This needs to be upgraded, but keep in mind we're using the Lover Mundus, so we're going to use 3 Divine. Max Magicka. Once again, Greaves of Soulshine, max health, reinforced. Crafty Alfiq, feet, Divine, max magicka. Now, we also have Necklace of Soulshine, infused, recovery. We also have Crafty Alfiq, protective, magicka recovery. And then, of course, we have Crafty Alfiq, arcane, with physical resistance, enchantment. So, that's where it's at, man. We got 2 recoveries, 1 physical resistance. Now, if you can sustain, you can put another physical resistance on there. That would be really good. But when I put my focus down and I go back in, now we're at 23. You could possibly get up to about 24.5 on physical resistance. So, but the question of it is, can you sustain? But that's why I'm a high elf. Because the high elves are going to get a damage reduction when they're channeling, and that includes their spammable. So when you're using the ability with the channel or a cast time, you take 5% less damage. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Let's go ahead and get into the abilities. Restoration Staff Bar. Ritual Retribution. I like this one because it only cleanses 2 versus 5, but it deals damage. So when blades jump me and if this is down and they take the tick, it pulls, keep them out of jumping into stealth right away. You know, we are using the Maelstrom Restoration Staff, so we're going to use Radiating Regeneration. So that healing you or up to 3 nearby allies for 20,000 health over 10 seconds. But once you go ahead and proc again, and we go back in, now we're a little higher once we actually proc our major sorcery. So and you can use pots too. Now we're going to use channeled focus. Anytime we're going to be healing, we want to get this down, and especially if we're against a lot of stam players, we want to get this down. Why? Because it gives us our resistance. It also gives us 242 magical recovery every second over the duration, and it gives us a self-sustaining heal on top of our other heal. Okay. With that said, we're also going to use Breath of Life, and Inner Light's going to be on both bars. Why? For scaling purposes for max magicka. Okay. Then I'm going to use Life Giver. I don't like Remembrance. I don't have a lot of mobility while I'm channeling. That can get me in a lot of trouble. Sure, I'm healing for a insane amount while I'm channeling, but then when it's over, I'm dead. This is a lot more mobile. So I prefer this ulti. Okay. 2H side, toppling charge, no surprise, right? We're going to set them off balance. Hopefully they take extra damage. Puncturing sweeps. This goes ahead and procs Soulshine. Degen. This is going to give her our major sorcery. Also applies a dot to them. So unless they cleanse it, they're going to take extra damage. They get on top of them with Enzon procs, and you're, puncturing. Keep in mind, you're also going to be healing 40% of the damage done, as well as take 5% less damage being a high elf. Okay, then we're going to use Radiant Oppression for our finisher. This scales off of what? Max Magicka. That's why we're using Crafty Alfiq. And then, of course, Inner Light. And, oh, baby. I hate blades. I know a lot of you do, too. So, pick this up. Do the main quest line. Get Shattered Soul. Right? 48,000, right? But let me show you guys something. Now, keep in mind, I ain't got my major sorcery, my sorcery up, or my minor. But 50,000 over 5 seconds. And it goes higher once I proc if I'm procking Radiant for my minor or my degen. Because remember, Radiant also gives me my minor in the Adric, in my Dawn's Wrath. Now, you can't use Purifying Light in replacement of the Ritual of Retribution. That's a flex spot. But anytime you use Radiant Oppression, you're going to proc Illuminate. So, yeah, a lot of damage. Lots and lots of damage. There it is, guys. Oh boy, it hurts. It's painful. It is so, so painful. I'm telling you guys. And if you like Templar and you like being a healer, but you're tired of having to suffer when it comes down to, trying to avoid a conflict because you don't have any offensive capabilities, well, this build's for you. And trust me, it hits. All right, as always, I'm Mr. Craven. This is Mystics MMOs. Have a nice day.